Have you ever felt like that? I don't know what to do with all of that behind me, or I don't know what to eat. There's too many choices. Close it. Let me go get some Oreos. Well, that was me for decades upon decades upon decades. Maybe not so much Oreos, but like 1 pound of meat for a meatball, like I shared before about my mother. We didn't have portions. We had family style at every meal for each person. So things developed in a very interesting way for myself, a series and myriad of illnesses, sicknesses, heaviness, overweight. All of these things led to different choices in my life, and one of those was about food. So I used to feel like I just told you in this video, like I have no idea what to choose. Now, what I do is, well, first of all, what I've learned is, this is through trial and error, is that I love color. If a food has color, it makes me happy. So like looking here, the reds, the blues, the reds, the oranges, the purples, all of that, it just brings me joy and it feeds me happiness. Now, I particularly am not somebody that I would say is a great cook or a great chef by any means. What I did was actually acknowledge that for myself, acknowledge my overwhelmingness about it, and then I started looking at creating a budget for myself so that I could get conscious about the foods I was eating. And that budget included getting somebody in to cook for me, and so that we two together, because I wasn't the cook, could actually help my body start to learn what it actually liked. And what I actually found is that my body likes light things. A couple of grapes, some yogurt, something juicy like a pineapple, as a snack. One of the things I really, really, really love is, where is it? Soup with spinach, believe it or not. And it's like a chickpea soup with carrots and spinach. It sounds, Thermomix, just so you know. It sounds like, I don't know, maybe you don't kind of like that stuff, but it's so light and filling for my body that my body goes, just had it yesterday. I did a video about it, it was really good. I learned that. I also learned that if I want something a little bit more balanced, I do like a fish and a potato and a vegetable, but it's already prepared in here for me. Portions to the size that fits me. I'm not necessarily, I live in Dallas now, I came from New York, family style and supersize was the key. And I had to learn actually that if I get something like this, I usually eat half of it and then I put it down and I come back to it a couple hours later. I'm not the 3 big meal person. I'm more like a grazer. I'll have a little, I'll have a little more, I'll have a little more, and I'll have a little more. And that actually works for me, which is different. So usually if I'm out to dinner with you or someone, I'm taking that home, or someone's taking home if they choose, what I haven't finished. One of the other things I love is, I love spreads. Spreads, anything that you can put on food. So this is edamame hummus. Again, Thermomix. So soybeans, avocado, a little oil, a little salt. How do I know these things? Because I watched somebody use the Thermomix, and the Thermomix tells you what to put in it and how much. It's like your own personal chef. But I actually used to think that I was the person that loved like the meatball hero, like meatball parmesan heroes, because that type of food, every Sunday we would have, my mouth is watering, we'd have like big meals of pasta and meatballs and bread and salad. On Thanksgiving in my family, we had the pasta, lasagna, and meatballs and sausage and salad before we even got to the turkey. So, and that was just, the first part of the meal, and that didn't even include dessert. So I was used to continuously stretching my body to what was in front of me instead of going inside of me and being like, body, what would you like now? So I completely changed everything. I went from, grandiose to hey body, what would you like right now? And these are the things that work for me. These are not the only things that work for me, but these are the things that work for me in the way that they work for me. How did I learn that? One, I made a decision to get healthy and get in communication with my body. Two, I knew it wasn't my strong suit, so I hired somebody who taught me and navigated things with me and taught me what I actually loved and what I didn't love, what worked and what didn't work. And now I know what works and what doesn't work. And I can instantaneously feel the difference when I'm eating right from my body in the way my body feels. When I'm feeling weighed down and dense and sluggish after I eat something, I know that I ate the wrong thing for me. When I feel energized and vibrant and like I can move to the next thing, I know that I did good for my body. And that is a relationship that I cultivated and made a priority. Boom, trust and honor right there for your body. So I talk a lot about my mother. My mother is Italian, and like literally the pots she would cook in were probably about this big. And so I talk about how they always say that Mrs. Cooney would make 1 meatball, 1 pound of meat. So let me give you an idea of what 1 pound of meat looks like. This. So imagine this being 1 meatball. This might be a little bit more than 1 pound, but it kind of gives you the image of it. So she used to, when we were playing out in the snow in New York, she would come out the side door, open it with one arm, and in her other hand she would have, I'm walking, a fork for me and my brother and my sister with a meatball on it and heat coming off of it, right? And sauce, they call it the gravy, but red sauce dripping off of it. And we were all like playing in the snow, snowballing, and all of a sudden we'd be like, drop everything and run for the meatballs. And we would sit there like this. So crazy. Didn't necessarily have an idea about portion control. Maybe other people had hot chocolate. We had meatballs on a fork. True story. If you're watching this and you know Marie, you know it's true. So I had to learn, or actually I chose to learn, because I would literally eat something like this, and it's not about eating or the size of anything, really. It's learning what worked for me and my body. And I didn't have that because in my family, well, I don't think I chewed for the first 30 years of my life. I learned afterward how to chew food and actually really get in the navigation system of my body and in communication. So that was one fun thing that I wanted to share with you. And then the other one is on Sundays, it was the best. We'd sleep in and all of a sudden we'd smell bacon, right? Now this happens to be turkey bacon, but she'd make, pork bacon. And she would take these and like probably 3 or 4 of them, just for 4 or 5 of us, and make them, and then make us these bagel, egg, cheese, bacon sandwiches. And we'd each have, 2 or 3 of them, 2 halves of bread on each one, and then another half. And that was just Sunday breakfast. And that is all fine, but I learned later on that my body could eat just 1 half at a time. But I didn't know that until like 30 years later. So how often do we just eat unconsciously and don't navigate what your body is actually telling you, when to stop, how much to have, and so forth. And for me, what it did and why I'm so focused on this now is I actually let myself get sick at one point. And it wasn't what I was eating, it was how I was eating. And of course, underneath that, what was eating me. And so once I started to change how I was eating, I realized I didn't need 3 pounds of meat at one sitting or 1 pound of meat on a fork at one sitting. I could have that. There are some times that I eat 3 times the amount in one sitting than I have for like 2 or 3 weeks before. I listen to my body. This morning, for instance, my body was so hungry and I had more than I usually have. Why? Because I listen to my body. It's not about judgment. It's not about diet. It's about listening to my body. So, marshmallows. I know you're tasting them. That gooey, soft, yummy, sugar fix. Ba-bing! I'm awake. Now, I don't know, I'm dating myself a little bit, but I don't know about you, but I used to love peanut butter and marshmallow fluff sandwiches as a kid. This is like early 70s. Now, marshmallow fluff I know is still around because I have seen it. However, it doesn't necessarily have the things in it that are good for me and my body right now. So, during one of the winter vacations or whatever, I was sitting here and I was talking to my partner and I was like, I require marshmallow fluff. Where can we get it? Does Amazon have it? Does Whole Foods deliver? Because we couldn't drive anywhere. The roads were icy and all that, but I needed it in that moment. I had never thought about it other than that moment. And I said, there has to be some sort of organic marshmallow cream. Foreshadowing! Here it is! It's called, well, I'm not sure if I can actually tell you what it's called because I'm not being paid to advertise for that. It's kind of like the objects in the mirror are closer than they appear in your car. All right, so organic vanilla marshmallow cream. Come on, come closer. You know you want some. This stuff, I said in another video that I like color and I eat a lot of foods with color because it makes me happy. White, creamy, nougaty stuff makes me happy. And who remembers Charleston chews? So what do? I take my marshmallow cream. I take this is just for me, but I haven't been paid to advertise for them. I love these Oreos. Gluten-free Oreos. I'm opening them. And you can't see this, but my puppy is watching me because she loves the sound of something opening. So that means I'm going to have to share, not these, but puppy treats with her. Okay, strawberry? No. Chocolate? Yes. Take this. Little tasty treat sensation for the middle of your day. Take a little marshmallow cream, take your little Oreo, and rub it on. But make sure you get it all around the top. If you're really, really needing a buzz, put it on the bottom too. I don't actually require that right now. And then, marshmallow goodness. Here you go. So, eat well, pay attention to your body, and also give yourself a treat. It's not what you're eating, it's how you're eating, how much you're eating, and what's behind the eat. If it brings you joy, it'll bring you joy. So if you'd like to hear more about what I have to share on this topic or any topic, feel free to like my social media accounts, follow my social media accounts. All the links are listed below, and I'd love to know that I'm contributing to you and providing you with what would help you move forward in your life, creating the life of your dreams.